Well, it's the end of the year, and I gotta tell you, I'm feeling lazy. Don't tell my boss at work, but I think they know. I think they might know. I'm still in a slightly Christmassy mood though, so I'm gonna leave this Christmas mod map up from Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm gonna have this be the gameplay, right? And I'll talk about it later on too. I gotta confess, I wasn't paying too close attention to Fiesta, like, as a whole this whole year until maybe halfway through. But that's probably because I wasn't really making any videos either, for the most part. I mean, I still kinda don't. I'm still kinda lazy in that respect, but I'm trying to do a lot of things in real life too, and online. But anyways, I think this roadmap that Gamigo put out was really interesting and kind of funny because halfway through the year, I was like, they're not going to get this all done. But I was, you never know. You never know. They could have something up their sleeve, but halfway through the year after the Voltara Summer Games was what it was, I was like, nah, I don't think we're going to get everything. I mean, you just look at the first entry on the list and it's the solo dungeon system, which I'd say no, it's not here. Because Easter was the test, and it worked fine. And then we had that one singular purpose that it had for the cap raise, and that's like literally it. I'm not going to pull it up here, I'm just going to read it off, but it says right here, dungeon accessible without party, difficulty scales accordingly, adjusted rates and rewards, exclusive dungeons rolled out over time, new boss monsters depending on dungeon. So guess what, that ain't there. That ain't there. Now Easter, of course, Easter was a rousing success. I can't talk. I can't tell you how much it was really like huge. Easter. I mean, especially when past Easters weren't. And even then, past Easters were the events were pretty easy. I think remember one of them was just finding 5 of those sheeps throughout Isia on specific maps, and I think you just had to kill like 5 of them, and then you got a mount. It was pretty nice and simple, but this one was something else, though. I really liked this Easter quest. I hope it comes back again next year. Even if that means it's identical, I just enjoyed it that much. Kebbing cap raise is kind of whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm not on kebbing, but I just don't know what they were thinking doing a cap raises so soon, so quickly. That's just an outsider's perspective. But why are they cap raising so often? It's like once a year, it's like every 9 months, I don't know. It's just way too fast over there. I don't understand why they did that. It's basically the same cap as as the main game was now. I mean, upgraded to 135 and the main game was 140. I don't know what they were thinking. The Voltara Summer Games. Man, that was so lame. Come on, what do you call that? They just activated the Kingdom Quest and gave different rewards for the coins or whatever. That was it. They didn't do anything else. It's got about the same amount of text on there, too, as the Easter one. Look what we got with that. And, of course, we got the cap raise all the way up to 145. Now, if you want to ask me personally, I don't really see a giant reason to rush to cap. I don't really see anything pushing me to go all the way up to cap, with gusto. I'm still fine sitting at 140 or 141 or just slowly making my way up to cap, in my slow manners. Because in previous cap raises, well, I guess I can't even say that because I was never capped. But previously, the reason why I wanted to level up is either because I wanted to have the best weapon that I could possibly afford. Not necessarily the best in the game, of course. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to own an AC. But, if I wanted to get the highest level weapon that I can realistically have, which is a Voltara, then yeah, that's 140 is a goal for that. If I want to have every skill in the game, then 135, well, I guess 136, but that's the goal for that. But really, what does 145 give me? All I really get is stuff that I already had, really. In the form of KZ jewels, except slightly better. And in the form of the armor, which is the same exact ones basically as 140. With the 2-tier system and everything, except with DDF effects slapped on there. On the hat. As if hats weren't expensive enough already. Maybe they could put something on the shoes next time. Why don't you do something like that, Game Go? But anyways, there's just nothing really new for me. I can go to the maps if I really want to. I just have to be level 141 and I can get into Lagelheim all by myself. I can look around, I can look at the buzzsaw birds or whatever, the chickens. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like I have to be 145 to get into the cap dungeons now, the new ones. I mean, not that I'd really care about it. I mean, I've done Bijou Sanctuary so many times, and this basically is that. Except, maybe not as fun. I don't know. Look, I try my hardest not to be too cynical. But it's just really hard with this game, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not the one spending bucket loads of money on the game. I do spend a little bit, though. I probably spend more than I should. Even if I've never bought a permanent inventory upgrade in my life. I know it's hard to believe when I say that. But I spend money here and there. I mean, how many think I got permanent costumes on, like, all the characters I regularly somewhat play? And all my plussed weapons. I enhance my own weapons. And my armors. Well, anyway, we had a nice anniversary, 19 years. Looks like next year's gonna be the big 20. The big 20-year anniversary. Game You Go, I really hope you have something really nice and cool in store for us next year. I don't want it to be like this year's, where it was kind of like, here's a new Kingdom Quest, and they did make the game look cool. That permanent mask thing carved from a cake pop was alright. You know, I said it was alright. I didn't say it was bad. It was easy enough to get. I mean, I didn't get it on everyone, but it was pretty easy to get. Let's see, what's this? Challenges of the Underworld. I don't think we've gotten that. That seems to be, that new content that's gonna have to wait until next year. as I say here, on the last day of this year, and we haven't gotten it. And then Halloween was like, you know, I don't know. My memory isn't super clear. I'm not a machine. But it seems almost identical to last year's with the stuff, you know? Just the normal stuff where you gotta go to that, the special map, you have to gather stuff, and then you have to bring it to those NPCs back and forth. I remember doing that last time. And I remember doing the maze, of course, last time. I remember doing the maze for years now, even if it's changed a little bit. So that was pretty much a copy-paste to me. Now, I was pleasantly surprised with Christmas, though, in more ways than one, because Christmas added something I never thought I'd see in Fiesta, and that's voiced lines. How crazy is that? Did you ever think you'd see NPCs talking in Fiesta? Because I never did. That was not on my bingo card. And on the roadmap, they were super vague about it. It just says winter sports events, new quests and rewards, and much, much more, quote-unquote. Boy, Game Go always knows how to make things sound really lame and then deliver something cool, or make something sound really cool and then be lame. It's like permanently opposite day over there. I think it was really funny that initially stuff was giving us Xmas tickets and we had no way of using those because that was from last year's, which I liked last year's too. And then people complained about it on Discord, and GM's response was like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna fix that, don't worry. And then we're like, well, can we do something with these Xmas tickets? And like, oh yeah, we might do something about that. They never did anything about it, okay? They never did anything about it. It's the Xmas tickets, keep them for next year. Maybe they'll reactivate last year's next year. I still have like over 200 on at least one guy. And it's funny, like, they didn't put the Christmas music on all the towns as soon as they patched it in. And, you know, they were still dealing with bugs from the previous patch, which was the cap raise, pretty much. Where, like, the helmets wouldn't even do the effect until, you know, they have to patch it in. They have to actually make it work later on. I don't know how you don't see that before you go live with that, to be honest. How does, like, one of the flagship features, like, one of the only different features, which is the helmets have the DDF set effects, and it doesn't even work. It doesn't even work in their screenshots, and, you know, they just throw it out anyway, and they're just not like, hey, by the way, we're putting out this cap raise, it's really cool, but by the way, this part is not working just yet, but we're gonna fix it. You know, it's not that hard to put in the patch notes, you know, I'm just saying. And then they made, and then with the Christmas quests, They made the first part really easy, and, you know, I hesitate to say fun, but it was fun, you know, going to low-level maps and getting materials and whatever. I don't complain about that kind of stuff. But what I do complain about is when I have to sit in one spot for like half an hour, right-clicking trees, and hoping that I get a present from them. You know, I don't know how they didn't see any backlash coming from that, if you want to be honest, either. Like, who... And they weren't even really clear about where you're supposed to go. Like, your level cap, and you're supposed to go to Swampadon. But then if you're level, what, 80 or something, you're also supposed to go to Swampadon? Or AEW? I don't even remember, but it's something very convoluted and weird. And so those have level ranges. But then the Kingdom Quest itself does not have any level ranges. And everyone can only auto-attack, which means if you're a mage, you're, like, stuffed. But if you're an archer, then you're, like, rolling, because you can shoot things from a distance. It's just, like, I really don't know what they even playtest over there. Do they have a playtester? I doubt it. Testing? What's that? I don't know what that is. Test it out before we make it go live on the server? I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, here's what you're seeing here, now that I'm coming back to what you see in the background here. This is a really nice Christmas mod map made for Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original, the one and only from 2005. Now this mod map, I don't remember exactly when it came out. I want to say it's somewhere around 2007, 2008, something like that. But obviously you can't quote me on that, I don't remember. I'm not looking it up. You know, the original site that I got it from doesn't even exist anymore. And anyways, on this loading screen you see, I'll throw up the loading screen at least. SBF Dan Boeing. Now, if you've never played the old Star Wars Battlefront 2, you don't know what a legend this guy really was. Because he is, and was, the legend when it comes to making Star Wars Battlefront 2 mod maps. And, you know, mind you, this is one guy. I'll splice in some footage of a normal Star Wars Battlefront 2 map, and you can see just how many assets he changed. And this is just one guy. You know, he reskinned all the playable characters. He modified all the guns. He modified the projectiles. He modified text strings all over the place. The maps have custom vehicles on them. There's houses all over the place. It's like a little Christmas village. You can go inside some of these houses even. I mean, he reworked the droids so that you heal and get ammo from the droid. Instead of droids, it's these boxes with snowballs on them. This is just one guy doing all this cool stuff, you know? So I want to say, like, thankfully, GameEgo actually delivered when it comes to the Christmas quest, at all this time. I wasn't expecting much, I gotta be honest. I was getting ready to, like, show off this mod map and say, look what one person did, and look at GameEgo recycling things. But, maybe I should have saved that for Halloween, since that was the thing that was recycled, almost wholesale. And by the way, this guy, he made more than just this map. I mean, there are some other modders out there for Star Wars Battlefront 2, but I think SBF Dan Boeing is just the most well-known, as far as I'm concerned. Because he didn't just, like, copy-paste the map from another game into here and call it a day. Which, those are still fun. I mean, I have a couple Counter-Strike 1.6 maps that have been translated to Battlefront 2. And they're a lot of fun, especially Italia. But SBF Dan Boeing, he just created whole new maps, almost wholesale. Created all kinds of new stuff in there. And when he did it for Christmas, it was just great. I mean, I play this map every Christmas. Just because I pretty much have for the last, I don't know, 20 years almost? I've played the game for over 20 years. It's gonna be right over 20 years in about a month or two. And there are still people making mod maps for the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 to this day. I remember when Star Wars Battlefront EA came out, and people started modding in things from like the new Star Wars stuff into the old Battlefront 2, just to show like how much more creative they were than EA, which isn't hard to do, by the way. It's not hard to do at all. Star Wars Battlefront EA. What a disgrace that was. Can you believe Star Wars Battlefront 3 died for that? Man, what a disgrace. Anyway, let's get back to Fiesta and Game Go. I know that it's not even in the background, but it is mostly what I talk about here on this channel. There's one last thing Game Go decided to do. Oh yeah, wait. I didn't even talk about them, the circumstances in which the cap raise came about, which is the timing, which I thought was the stupidest timing they could have possibly come up with. Don't get me wrong, I know a lot of Germans are playing this game, but there's quite a few North Americans playing this game as well. Pretty much all the English speakers are over here. And GameGo does know about Black Friday. They know what it means. They know that's when the sales happen. But they're like, you know what? We're gonna drop all these hints for the cap raise, and then the cap raise is gonna come out like a week before Thanksgiving. Thank you very much. And so everyone's going to spend all this money for the cap raise before it happens. And then once it happens, yay, here it is. The cap raise is here. But then what happens right after that? Well, Black Friday. But everyone's already spent their fucking money already. You see what the problem is there, GameGo? Do you? I don't think they do. I don't think they realize how stupid that was. And you see, the correct way to do this is to either release the cap raise so far back there, like a month ago, release it all the way back there so that when Black Friday comes, it's a completely different, normal yearly event. Or, I think what the better thing they should have done was, the cap raise should have happened right after Black Friday. Because just imagine they had all the teasers going out for Black Friday and for the cap raise at the same time, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have all these really great deals, and guess what? The cap raise is right around the corner after Black Friday. So we can get all the really cool deals and all the packs and all the exclusive things or the new stuff we're putting in the shop because that's all we care about. So we put all that in there, and then the cap raise happens, and everyone's all ready to go. You know, doesn't that sound like it would make a lot more sense? Don't you think? And that's just a timing thing. They could have stopped the they could have released the patch later on if they wanted to. They're not, you know, they're the publisher, they're the developer. They don't have to worry about anyone saying about anything else. But then, there's one final thing they did, and they're like, hey, you remember those Realm of the Gods? Remember the last cap raise when we're like, release these like $300 packs, and we're gonna give you cool stuff in them, but then we're gonna promise not to do it ever again? Well, have I got news for you. Now, to GameGo's credit, there is some differences. The new packs give you a lot more limited time things, which I'm like, who fucking cares? But anyways, there is that difference. But guess what? You still get the auras. The $300 pack part. You still get the auras. You still get multiple weapon skins. You still get a whole bunch of mounts, except they're tradable in the old version GameGo. You can actually trade some of those away. What am I going to do with 4 mounts on one account? You had your permanent costumes, multiple permanent costumes, and statted ones, which, who cares? And the Spark Cash amounts are identical to last time. But you know what's even funnier? Is there's only one, on the way back machine, there's only one capture of it. Thank goodness someone actually thought to capture this. But it's actually 20% off when they were capturing it, so... And I do remember this, now that I actually finally see the screen, I do remember this. The 99 pack was $79, the 199 was $159, and the 299, the $300 Mac Daddy pack was $239. They were 20% off at this time. And I'm like, wow. So you're telling me we only paid $239 to have all these mounts permanent and tradable, and the weapon skins, and the auras, and the costumes and all that. Are you telling me we had all that back then for not even $300? Now someone get in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that it was actually $300 when it launched, because I don't remember. Because then we pop over to our most recent God pack. You know, hey, it's not identically the same, so that means it's different, right? And we still have, okay, you got arrows, they're not permanent until the $300 pack. You got statted stuff that goes away, that's time limited, who the hell cares about that? We actually do have permanent clothes on every level now, so $99 get you permanent outfits, you know, whoop-de-doo. You got more stuff that's gonna expire in 30 days. Who the hell cares? At least you get weapon skins, but you did back then too. And there it is, 4x Godly Mount coupon permanent. 4 of them, but you can't trade them. Wow, 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 Game Go. Isn't that great? So all 4 of them can stay on my one account. Do you expect me to just merge them all into one super mount? You expect me to just make one of them plus 4? Is that what you're trying to say? Because here's the best part. It says right here, the packs are delivered as a single item in the premium inventory. Bleh. I can talk. Once you move it to your character's inventory, it'll open automatically. And they just made them account bound. I mean, it's so similar, we're still using coupons and going to an NPC and picking what we want. That's how similar it is to the last time. Oh man, what a joke. But at least this time, I can give them props where it's due. You do at least get 3 auras this time. You only got 1 permanent aura last time. Everyone gets permanent clothes, so if that means something to you, then that's pretty cool. And everyone gets more weapon skins this time than they did before. I just can't get over the fact that you get 4 mounts and you can only use it on 1 account. Or the weapon skins. Just imagine how valuable these weapon skins coupons would be if they were tradable. Can you imagine what that would do? But nah, they didn't want to do that. Maybe they're saving that for 150. Maybe that's going to be the 150 god packs. Don't think that we're not going to think you're going to do this again. I know that was kind of a word salad. But we know you're going to do this again, Game Go. When the level 150 level cap happens, we're going to be expecting some kind of god pack here again for $300 again. I wonder if these are ever going to go on sale this time. Because I'm looking at the other one, and I'm seeing $239, and I'm looking over here at $299. And they had a sale back then. Like I said, I don't remember if it was on sale when it came out or not. Correct me in the comments. Well, that's going to be it. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And let's hope that this next year is going to be a lot nicer for the Fiesta community, okay? I'm not saying all this stuff because I just hate the game and I want it to fail. That's not why I'm saying this. I'm coming from a place of a player that wishes more regular people played it, and that SC wasn't, you know, required past 140 to do stuff. That's it, okay? I mostly enjoy the game besides that, and I would tell more people to play it, but I just know they're gonna get frustrated with all the money they have to spend. But, you know, like I said before in a couple other comments and videos, like, GameGo is pretty egregious when it comes to free-to-play microtransaction stuff, but they're kind of small potatoes nowadays. They're kind of stuck in their old ways, and everyone else is, like, charging for all kinds of extra stupid things. And so GameGo might charge us really stupid for one thing, and we're like, oh, man, what the hell are you doing? But then other games have been charging, like, way worse than that this whole time. The phone games, but they're on your computers. It could be worse. It could be Nexon that's in charge of Fiesta. Oh, just imagine that. Anyway, see you later. Peace out. See you in 2026.